greenteaguru.co.uk offers green tea, white tea, black tea, oolong tea, and we absolutely love Puerh tea with offerings of Misty Peaks, Yunnan sourcing, Munghai, and Shaguan. We regularly visit Hong Kong and Guangdong, sourcing out very interesting and special cakes for your tea table. Green Tea Guru, based in UK with worldwide delivery. You're doing well. It's Ollie here from greenteaguru.co.uk. We are bringing you the third cake in our Puerh cake releases. This one is called Mr. Bumble. Let's take a closer look. Alrighty, so here she is. This particular cake, just like the Yan Nuo we saw the other day, is airbrushed by me personally. So all the cakes will be looking in this design, but they could be slightly different. Also, every single cake is numbered as well. This one's number 1. If you are after a particular number, just let me know, and if it's available, of course, I'll get it out to you. Okay, so here she is in the flesh. This is the Mr. Bumble. It originates from Bumble, Zhai, which is a very hot village over in the Nan Nuo area. The leaves are quite dark. This is an early spring tea. It's got a lovely sort of green tint to them. All cakes in these Puerh releases are hand pressed. Very, very beautiful. We're just going to break off 5 or 7 grams, that sort of amount of leaf. That's all we're going to be needing today. I tried the 2013 before. This particular batch is 2016. So it's going to be slightly different. I'll be trying it for the first time with you guys. Let's see what she tastes like. Water everywhere again. Mrs. Guru is going to flip her lid. Alright, a quick rinse to get this tea going. Quite pungent tea. Just by doing the rinse, I got some aroma there just whiffing through. Ooh, deep sort of sweetness there. Quite Yan Nuo in character, and I just don't really know how to sort of transmit that into verbally to you. But you know, if you've had a sort of Nan Nuo before, this is just similar sort of nature. But a very deep, almost savoury sweetness. Those of you that know me well know that I forbid the use of Zhai when I'm dealing with you guys, and in general, to be honest. I just completely skip the sharing cup completely. I just go for the Gaiwan hack. So I basically fill up this Gaiwan full of leaf and water, infuse it, and throw it straight into another big Gaiwan, of which I drink the whole lot from. If I've got guests, then of course, you know, we'll not get out the Zhai and do it properly. But I think I could be casual with you guys, right? It's quite hard to get these big Gaiwans anymore. They're normally quite small. This one must be at least sort of 200 ml up. So when I do come across them sometimes in Hong Kong where they're very expensive, but in Guangdong, I pick them up because they do go off the shelves pretty quick because they're quite a rare occurrence. That sweetness is still there. Very nice aroma. Now, bearing in mind this tea is a year old now, just over. The colour is a dark yellow. I wouldn't say it's a turning yellow yet. Well, kind of. It's starting to go a little bit orange, but yeah, very light, very light. Now, what I did neglect to tell you earlier, this particular tea is Gushu. I've been told the tea trees are anywhere between 150 and 300 years old. So it does come in fairly expensive. This 200 gram cake comes in at $52.50. So it's by no means a budget cake. So I've left it a couple of minutes. Let's go for it. The immediate thing that hits you is it is bitter still. I mean, it's not harsh. It's not brash. It's still an elegant bitterness, but you know, it's just over a year old. The bitterness, it hits you. What I love about the texture of this tea is that it's got that sort of tonic water effect, that texture that I've mentioned in some previous other cakes. That tonic water sort of texture, so it feels like the whole texture of the tea, it doesn't, but it feels like it's got bubbles in it. So when you're drinking it, it sort of goes down your throat, and I mean, it just tastes a bit sort of bubbly. It's the only way to sort of to explain it. An amazing sort of texture. The bitterness adds to it. So when you're drinking, when you're drinking a tonic water, you've got that sort of bitterness in the tonic water, and then that's what you kind of get here on a smaller scale. Very, very low kind of aftertaste I'm getting. And the moment's quite vegetal. And when I tasted the 2013 cake, what I did notice pretty much from the get-go, that it was quite meaty, savoury, almost syrupy. If you've tried the Shaguan FT Taiwan, the little mini chuo that I sell, now that is a sort of brash, economic sort of tea, but extremely interesting in its own right. The 2013 reminded me so much of that cake, but a much more elegant, expensive version of. From this first infusion, I'm not really getting that, but it's the 2016, so it's 3 years behind. So you got that. I mean, you know, the bitterness levels is probably, it's fleeting, it's there and it goes. I'd say it's probably hitting the sort of 4 or 5 out of 10. Fleets away, and then you've got that sort of bubbly tonic water texture. It's just lovely. As the tea's cooling, I think you start to notice the absolutely minus bit of sweetness at the end, but very minor. that bitterness sort of wrapping itself around the tongue, it's just nice. The best thing about this tea so far, infusion number 1, is that tonic water sort of consistency. It's not a thick tea, it's not a thin tea, it's kind of bang in the middle. But that tonic water gives you the illusion that it's a very thin tea. It's not. It's cracking. Almost makes you want to burp when you're sipping it down, because you feel like it's got bubbles in the water. It hasn't, but that's just kind of what it makes you feel like you want to burp. I shan't burp on camera, that would be terribly rude. I'm super interested to see what infusion number 2 has to bring. Let's do it. Alright, infusion number 2. And I was saying that the bitterness was fleeting. I mean, the large majority is, but you can still feel it in your mouth. Sort of buzzing. It's very nice. It's not overwhelming whatsoever. It's nice. It's amazing. Usually, the best aroma I ever get off a tea, raw or ripe, is in the first rinse. You know, it sort of, well, this particular tea, it lifted out lots of sort of deep sweetness. I mean, that does fade away with the other infusions, and you lift it to your nose, it's gone. Somewhat. I mean, it's there. It's, you know, once the temperature's cooled down a bit, you get that sweetness coming back. But if you want to get the best of an aroma out of a tea, generally the first rinse is where it's at. I mean, some of these ripes that I brew up, you know, the first rinse, I bang it to my nose, and sometimes the aroma could be like a beautiful perfume. If you saw my very brief recommendation of the 8592 Minghai 8592, which is now out of stock, I'm going to try and get some more. I mean, that was just wonderful. If I can encapsulate that aroma, I'll probably be a very rich man. So very important after the first rinse to lift the tea to your nose and have a whiff. Infusion number 2, and I've had some sneaky sips off camera. I've got the feeling I'm overdoing it a tad on this. I'm either putting too much leaf or I'm leaving the infusion to go a bit too long. It's bitter, but then it's not a brash bitterness, as I explained before. It's kind of in my face at the moment, infusion 2. The texture's still there, it's still sort of very tonicky, but that bitterness is right in my face. The bitterness folds back, I can feel that there is something in the way of a aftertaste wanting to poke through, but not quite there yet. And that could either be down to the fact that I'm only on infusion 2, or that the tea's fairly young. I remember what this tea was like, the 2013. It was pretty glorious. We'll see how infusion 3 goes. So yeah, quite brash on the bitterness. Still, there's an underlying sort of slight sweetness there. I'd say that the aftertaste is probably quite vegetative. Yeah, I'm definitely going to take it easy on round 3. I'm not saying it's unpleasant. It's just in my face at the moment. Lots and lots of bitterness. If you like that, that's great. You know, I like a nice balance. At the moment, it's just completely hitting me for 6. I'm actually starting to sweat. Yeah. I'm getting a bit buzzed up. Feeling very energetic. Alright, take it easy. 5-second infusion. Did you count? I didn't. I'm guessing that's 5. The cool thing about having a cake with an absolute sledgehammer of bitterness is that you know that further down the road that bitterness is going to be transmuted into sweetness and other goodies that you might find in flavours and tones. Because this is a completely different cake right now than the 2013 that I tried earlier this year. Very different. You know, the 2013 was exuding a very deep, savoury, meaty, syrupy sweetness, where right now this tea just shouting at me, trying to sledgehammer me with caffeine overload right now. But I think, you know, to be honest, I was looking at the amount of leaf I put in, and I did put in quite a lot, and I did oversteep it, to be fair. The last steep was probably at 10 seconds or over. This one's about 5. We'll let it cool down and see this whole Gushu thing. If you watch the Error 404 video, the last cake I did from Yanuo, I did that mini disclaimer thing at the beginning where I mentioned that, you know, I wasn't there when when the tea was picked, so I don't know for 100% if it's Gushu or not, but the taste, the texture, everything lends me to believe it's Gushu, and that's what I've been told. And I've, you know, at the end of the day, Gushu or not, it shouldn't matter so much as the flavour of the tea. This one, I've got to say that I have no doubt in my mind that it is Gushu, because, you know, throughout all my trials of tea tasting, I've never experienced the tonic water effect in anything else but Gushu material. That tonic water texture is something that is fairly rare and only found in high-end teas. So, Gushu or no Gushu, you know, that is the question. Who cares? But no, I bet my bottom dollar this is Gushu, because, you know, you can't get that tonic water effect on a cheap tea. End of. Infusion 3. Now that is more palatable. Don't over infuse this thing. It will eat you for breakfast. That is much nicer. So the bitterness is still there. It's just, you know, it's the last one was just an absolute sledgehammer. This one on the tracks of the first infusion I did. So, you know, you've got that lovely tonic water effect, vegetal aftertaste, and the bitterness is back down to where it should be, the sort of 4 or 5 out of 10 mark, not sort of hitting 7 or 8 where I was in the last infusion. I'm still sweating. Yeah, but no, I mean, you know, if you want to try out this tonic water texture I'm talking about, here's a great tea for it. It's right here. Right now, the flavour is fairly vegetal. Ooh, as I say that, this aftertaste is creeping in. Kind of What is it with Gushu? It always takes till round 3 for the aftertaste to kick in. Kind of herbal. Not as herbal as the Yanuo we had the other day. Kind of a herbal floral aftertaste. In any case, this tea is well structured to be something very special in the future. Very interesting right now, but it's going to be lovely in 2 or 3 years and beyond. Civilized is what I'm talking about. Don't push it up. Don't push it up to 10-second infusions. You'll just get beaten up. Keep it civilized. 5 seconds infusions and you'll be fine. Great tea. So, if you're interested in trying this tea, samples available. If you buy a full cake, it will be numbered. You can go to greenteaguru.co.uk for your purchase. Link in the description. Please, guys, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I love hearing from you guys. Until next time, happy cupping.